We begin this week with a truly classic Twilight Zone episode. The monsters are due on Maple Street. The story begins when a UFO flies over a tranquil suburban neighborhood. Maple Street loses its electricity, its phone lines, and its motor power. But the inhabitants of this neighborhood very quickly dismiss any relationship between the UFO and the power outages. That is until Tommy, a comic book reading, bubblegum chewing young whippersnapper, suggests the possibility of an alien invasion. As the boy explains, the aliens look just like us, they act as if they belong, but in reality, they're dangerous. And if given the chance, they will tear apart the community and everything it holds dear. The episode is an analogy for 1950s McCarthyism, or the Red Scare, a campaign exacted by the United States government to expose suspected communists and communist sympathizers in post-war America. But on a much deeper level, the episode is not about the fear of communism, but more fundamentally, the fear of difference. Of different ideologies, different ways of thinking, different systems of value and moral belief. The so-called other, in this sense, is not a communist necessarily, but neither is it an alien from outer space. Instead, the other refers to those who are different from us, to those who bring our cherished beliefs and deeply held values into question. When faced with this threat, the episode teaches its viewers, people will search out a scapegoat in order to eliminate the cancerous growth in their community. The result we often find is that the scapegoat is dehumanized as other, a different species, a non-human creature who is no longer afforded the rights of man. As one character states, quote, "What we need to do is run a check of the neighborhood and find out which ones of us are really human." And as another character states in reference to the suspected alien invader, quote, "He always was an oddball, him and his whole family, a real oddball." The lesson? If we are to treat those who are different from us as less than human, we must first, by logical necessity, strip them of their humanity. Rod concludes the episodes with these words, and I quote, "There are weapons that are simply thoughts, attitudes, prejudices, to be found only in the minds of men. For the record, prejudices can kill, and suspicion can destroy. And the thoughtless, frightened search for a scapegoat has a fallout all its own." In the next episode, titled The Shelter, a yellow alert turns a birthday celebration upside down. The party no longer marks the celebration of life, but the alarming approach of death. And just as in the previous episode, an outside threat tears the community apart. In a poignant early scene, the Dr. Bill assures his wife Grace that they will survive the nuclear attack. But Grace responds, "Then what, Bill? Then what? We crawl out of here like gophers to tiptoe through all that rubble up above? The rubble and the ruin and the bodies of our friends? Why is it so necessary to survive? What's the good of it?" This episode explores the question of human value. When the bomb comes, who deserves to live? Are some human beings really more valuable than others? And more to the point, does human life have any value at all? Would not the world be better off without us? In your analysis of the episode, I encourage you to consider the argument of Sigmund Freud's 1930 monograph, Civilization and Its Discontents. According to Freud, there are fundamental tensions between society and the individual. Because humankind's primitive instincts, the desire to kill and its insatiable craving for sexual gratification, threaten the veneer of polite society. Communities will impose restrictions and cultural expectations upon its members in order to censor and otherwise sublimate their base animal instincts. In short, society hides the truth about human nature. After their neighbors leave to find a battering ram to break into the bomb shelter, a distressed Grace asks her husband, quote, "Bill, who are those people?" And Bill responds thus, Those people are our neighbors, our friends, the people we've lived with and alongside for 20 years. But you see, these same people, in the face of their impending doom, have become unrecognizable. Their public costumes torn apart to reveal the beasts hidden within. As Bill concludes, the bomb threat revealed, and I quote, "the kind of people we are just underneath the skin. I mean all of us. A lot of naked wild animals who put such a price on staying alive that they'll claw their neighbors to death just for the privilege." I hope this lecture has demonstrated to what depths Rod Serling expects his viewers to probe. The Twilight Zone is as much drama as it is intellectual exercise. Consider this as we move forward in our examination of so many wonderful episodes. That's all for now. Over and out.